Congruent triangles. Right. Congruent triangles are the same shape and same size. Right. So you just use the definition. The next definition that you guys should know is CP-CTC. Right. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Right. So that means that if two triangles are congruent, if and only if their corresponding parts are congruent. And we're going to go over an example in a minute of that. The next thing that you guys should fill out is the chart below. Properties of congruent triangles. Right? You have reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. Right? Reflexive, just think of it. A equals A. If a triangle equals itself, then it's the same triangle. Right? Symmetric, if A equals B, then B equals A. Right? Same gist. And then transitive, if A equals B and B equals C, then the first and third will be equal to each other. Right? And all of these definitions can be found in your book. The example on the bottom, right, gives you a triangle, right? And you don't have all the stuff that's colored in blue. So what I do is, as you're reading through, right, and I say hint, use your check marks to help you out. You've got an architectural roof composed of congruent triangles, right? So they're asking you, you've got two triangles, H, I, J. So you've got H, I, and J. So I just indicated with one little tick that, okay, that's the first angle, that's the second angle, and that's the third. Then they give you another triangle and they label it LIK. So you've got it over here. So L is the first one, I is the second one up here, and then K. They want you to name all the corresponding angles and sides. So first I went through and I said, alright, H is congruent to L. Alright. Then this I that's up here, because there's different angles that correspond with I, we have to use three different letters. So we have I, we have H, I, and J. Okay? And the second I that you would use is L, I, and K. So those are congruent. Lastly, you've got your J and your K. So that takes care of your three corresponding angles. Okay? So looking at one triangle and corresponding to the other triangle. We then go through our sides, and you've got HI is congruent to LI. IJ, right, so you've got this one here, is congruent to IK. And last, HJ, your base of your triangle, is congruent to JL. Right? And the easiest way to do this, if you don't have your two triangles drawn, is to use what they have here. Right? So if you go through our list of our congruent sides, HI is the first two letters of the next one, so HI corresponds to LI, and so forth. IJ, IK, and then the last combination, HJ, LK. Right? And you can do that the same thing with your angles. Part B says name the congruent triangles. So there you're just going to say, alright, you've got your triangle, HIJ, is congruent to triangle LIK, and that's it. On the back side, you're going to find a grid with a bunch of triangles on it. So it says on here first that you've got congruent transformations. So that just means that if you flip, slide, or turn a triangle, the size and shape do not change, right? Which makes sense. Congruent means that it doesn't change, right? Same shape, same size. So you're going to see a triangle. You're going to see two triangles. One was the original image, and the next one is that image. They call this the pre-image, and then this is the image of what you changed. So what you've got to go through is list all of your ordered pairs. So I said R and S and T, so I went through and named them all. Okay, so you've got your R, right, -3, 0, your S, 0, 5, T, 1, 1, and then you've got R prime, T prime, and S prime, and their corresponding ordered pairs. In order to prove that this triangle, your pre-image, is congruent to your image, you have to go through and say, alright, I got to find the distance from R to S. Then I got to find R prime to S prime. Check to see if those two check out. And they do. Right? You're going to then do this again for RT, and then R prime, T prime, and so forth. Right? Once you go through all of this, right, which I'm not going to go through all of the steps, but they do end up coming out congruent. So these are the steps that you're going to have to do on your own. The last couple questions that are down there, they say, well, okay, how did you verify? So you were verifying up here with the distance formula. And lastly, name the congruence transformation for triangle RST and triangle R prime S prime T prime. So that's just a term. They just rotated that triangle to another. So that is your lesson on 4.3. You can always go back and stop and pause on certain things if you want to get your different items, if you want to see what the distance formula was for each one.